The Fifth Doctor and co. have embarked on the most epic of journeys. This is Doctor Who meets fantasy, with the Doctor and crew dealing with Hooklight, this epic 12-part saga written by Tim Foley.
Yeah, we've loved Tim Foley's work over the years. Started off with the Torchwood monthly range, the 1 hour slot, got bumped up to 2 hours with The Golf, which was a magnificent story for the Third Doctor and Sarah Jane. And then gradually since then, he's got a six-parter with The Autumn Infinity, a 4 hour story in the form of Diary of River Song, Friend of the Family, all releases which we have praised to death. We have adored them.
Dark
And so,
Gallifrey, War
yeah.
Doctor, Morbius the Mighty. Yeah, he's got a
Mm.
pedigree of long form storytelling. But
Yeah, it
this
seems the longer the story, the higher the quality so far.
and
Ah,
this one, does it deliver?
yeah, I mean, we've only got the first half of it at the
Hmm.
moment. We're sort of reviewing the first six parts, more just, giving a
Checking
feel
in.
for, yeah, spoiler-free little chat about it, and then we'll come back next month for the full review of the whole 12-parter. But
Hmm.
since they've given us these first six parts to mull over, we might as well do that with everyone here.
Yeah, and basically
Because,
say if you want to listen to it now because there's some spoiler things that happen within it, and I fear that the cover that they released for cover two is a
yeah,
placeholder. So if you
I can
have
see it.
any inkling to listen to it, or you're waiting for the whole thing to drop, don't. You're doing yourself a disservice of a wonderful story. Don't listen to it.
Yeah, it is magnificent so far. It's Lord of the Rings meets Star
Yes.
Wars meets Doctor Who. It's something completely unique to Doctor Who,
It's sci-fi
whilst,
fantasy in the best way
yeah,
possible.
while still being uniquely Doctor Who in its take on it all. Yeah, like you say, it's this fantasy world which also has spaceships going through it and time travel, as you would expect from Doctor Who.
But
It's
very ordinary names like Morning, what feel very earthly, but the whole world that is created around that, it has a different aura, and you believe that this is a different type
mystical.
age. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's like this realm where the laws of reality are ever so slightly different. I think it's meant to be towards the center of the universe,
Hmm.
and it's sort of like this earlier time, and you have these wonderful creations within it. It's very much hopping around this whole realm of morning, all these different planets. It's unclear quite how big it is, whether it's just one solar system or multiple, a whole galaxy. But yeah, you have these beings called the Halcyons who rule over it all. You've got wonderful names of characters such as Vanderseer. It's
Hmm.
going for that high fantasy feel. Uh, and yeah, I love all that. I love the world building throughout this. The characters are split up quite a bit
As you would
throughout this.
expect for a 12 party, you need to split them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and I think that just adds a whole scope to it, especially as it takes, influence from Lord of the Rings in multiple ways. Instead of a ring bearer, you've got a light
Lamp bearer.
bearer. Yeah.
Yeah, Nissa
Uh,
becomes Frodo in this.
yeah. And it's a very good story for Nissa. You've
Yeah.
got these creatures called the Nygard, which are very much inspired by the Nazgul from Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. Morning itself has had a first, second, and third age.
Yeah. It's had its
It's
Similarian and now,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a mention of a fellowship.
It
It's
knows what it's
wearing
doing, yeah.
it's wearing that influence on its sleeve. It's proud of it. It's not trying to hide it, but at the same time, it's doing something quite unique as well.
Yeah.
It's taking that as the inspiration, but then going off on its own different journey with
Mhm.
that, which, yeah, I'm really enjoying at the moment. I'm really liking how many different facets it all has. And there's mysteries as well, which I'm curious to see how they'll unfold in
Yeah, playing
part
with
two.
time.
Yeah, because it very much sets up quite a lot here. There's a lot of questions at the end of Hooklight 1, which is fine because, that's what Hooklight 2 exists for, to answer those
It's to hook you
questions.
right in, and yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely hooked in. And I think by the end of episode six, you're like, oh my goodness, I need the other six episodes because
Mm,
it flips everything you know on its head, and it just becomes even more interesting,
yeah.
which is
I mean,
impossible.
yeah. You have that question of, is it going to feel stretched out as a 12-parter? If anything, I'm worried that it's going to be rushed
Yeah,
because it
like
feels like there's so much going on. I'm sort of looking at this thinking, is it really all going to be wrapped up in another 6 parts? I mean, I'm sure
yeah.
it will be because Tim Foley knows what he's doing. But, just if there's any fear in your mind that, oh, it's going to drag because it's a 12-parter,
Mhm.
it does not. At least
This
these
isn't
first
another
six
last
parts
day
don't.
type of
No.
thing. This feels more competent, I feel.
It's very much one vision and one story,
Yes.
whereas Last Day was you'd have an episode focusing on Benny and Mel in the desert, then you'd have another episode where it's the Seventh Doctor on Gallifrey. It was very disparate, whereas this it hops between the different characters
It's all happening at once.
seamlessly. Yeah, it all gives it that grander scope. It's sort of like the Sirens of Time original versus the Sirens of Time Redux in
Yeah,
that
that's a really good
sense.
comparison.
Yeah, it gives you that scale to it all. Yeah, the plot is a pretty simple one to start off with. There is a lamp containing this light called Hooklight, which has become active, and the Doctor and companions have to go on a quest to destroy it
I'm
before
mesmerized by it.
before it destroys the universe. But it's a Doctor Who story. Things are never going to be quite that simple. There's things getting in the way. There's things hunting
It
them.
can't go in the TARDIS. The TARDIS is out of
Yeah,
action because it's been drained of power by the hook light.
yeah.
So
There's
it's never simple.
no, no, no. There's a lot going on to keep this one going, and lots of different planets to visit, lots of different cultures and civilizations to meet,
Yeah.
like the Dawn Brides. These wonderful poetic names, the sort of things that Russell Davis would dream up, like the Jaws of the Nightmare Child.
Hmm.
It's that quality, but here you're meeting them and they're also living up to those names, I think.
Yeah, very much like the Night Witches and Night Sisters of Star Wars in a way.
Yeah, it does have those Star Wars influences as well. Tim Foley has looked back at the realm of the 1980s that the Fifth Doctor was born in and gone, what was going on around that time that I could use for this story?
And I like that Tim Foley honors some of the big Finnish stories, like Argentia gets mentioned from Serpent in the Silver Mask. So it
Mm,
feels very like we're still in the big Finnish Fifth Doctor sandbox, which I think's a really nice touch.
yeah, it's doing these characters justice. It is very much a 12-parter for this quartet. It's not one that you could easily pass off onto different um, TARDIS teams. I'm sure you could, but it'd take a lot of work. It feels very specifically crafted for these. And also does have a feel of some stories of that era, a bit like State of Decay or Warrior's Gate,
Hmm.
with that sort of slightly weird feeling to it, but still trying to rationalize it in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I Roll on Hooklight 2 is all I have to say. Really
Yeah.
enjoying it so far.
Like
Certainly recommend picking this one up.
this this could be Davison's year.
Mm,
We've had Genesis for Cybermen, which was a surprise hit with us. Hooklight, no surprise. We're invested. We are sat and we are hooked and ready for the next six episodes.
yeah, can't wait. I mean, I'm curious if anyone out there has only bought Hooklight 1. So, like,
Hmm.
hedging their bets on whether or not they want to spend the full amount to get 2. Or if people have just dived in and gone, well, it's a 12-parter, I might as well buy the whole thing as a bundle.
I mean, yeah, you at that point you've just got to go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say at this point that if you've not gone for it, you might as well go for the bundle.
Yeah, I think that this could be the best big finish of the year.
Yeah, it's if not, it's going to be top three, top five. It's a highlight for sure.
Mhm.
Just for the sheer, scale that it's going for. That's what Hooklight has going for it. So,
Yes.
yeah, really enjoying this one. As we've said, roll on part two and leave your thoughts down below.
Mm. And we'll see you next time. Bye
Goodbye,
bye.
everyone.